Hey everybody, Coach Toolshed here, and boy has it been a busy week for Bethesda since the last time I talked to you guys. And if you remember, last time I talked about Bethesda, I was talking about Pete Hines and the horrendous year he's having, and in fact, the last couple bad years that Bethesda Softworks has had selling their games. And now this week, we had another series of public relations disasters, and some not so bad disasters, but some absolutely epic disasters on the part of Bethesda. And at this point, you just have to wonder, when's it going to stop? Because believe it or not, a lot has happened just in the time since I talked to you guys last about this game. So the last time I talked to you about Fallout 76, they hadn't even doxed anyone yet. Yet that's right, they hadn't doxed anyone yet on their customer service website for people trying to exchange those canvas bags, trying to get those bags that they were sold, that they bought, that didn't get delivered. Those people got doxxed, some of them. But Bethesda let us know. I thought this was funny. They put out a statement letting us know that, quote, fewer than 123 people were affected. That's good to know. Fewer than 123. So what, 122? Okay. And no more than 65 people had, really serious personal information that people could have looked at, like home addresses, phone numbers, email address, no big deal. It was only, a few dozen people. Less than 123 people had their tickets looked at. I mean, that's all. No big deal, guys, right? They sincerely apologize. Oh, and they let us know they're going to be more transparent in the future. Thanks, Bethesda. Gotta love that old PR marketing term, transparency. Sort of smooth everything over. So they doxed everyone who put in a ticket. Oh, no, sorry. Less than 123 people. So no big deal. But so they exposed people's personal information to anyone else who filed a ticket during the time where their security was down. They had a breach, I guess you could say. But really, it was just another example of, I guess Bethesda has the same people coding their security software as they do coding the game itself, because neither one of them function properly. Now, this is something you could joke about. This is something, another log on the fire for the Bethesda dumpster fire, you could say, right now. But this is actually a serious legal issue, especially in countries where they take their internet security quite seriously. So Bethesda, just because they've come out and said, oh yeah, we rectified this, and oh yeah, it's no big deal, and we're going to notify these people. Well, this is a major deal, actually. And anyone who has purchased anything on that Bethesda launcher, you have to call into question now. They clearly are not. This wasn't even something where they got hacked. This is just like, oops a daisy, we're just going to spill this information out. Like, this is them leaking information. No one broke in. This was not a hack. This was just them just caught with their pants down. They have no concept of what they're doing. And them not having a concept of what they're doing is going to be a trend for the rest of this video, because this is going to lead me into the update that they had last week, where the patch came out and they put out their patch notes, and after people got into the game and started playing, they realized that there was an awful lot of changes that had been made that did not make their way into the patch notes at all. Even though Bethesda had used those patch notes sort of like another marketing tool, like, hey, check it out, December 4th, we've got extra stash space coming. Oh, and check it out, on December 11th, we've got FOV sliders. They were only concentrating on the stuff that people would want to see in patch notes. What they didn't let you know is that, they're also going to nerf a bunch of stuff. They're going to nerf the amount of time that you can use a fusion core for. They're going to nerf heavily the amount of resources that the workshops can gather. They're going to lower the XP for the high value targets out in the zone. They're going to, all the higher level players, they're going to increase that grind for you a little bit more. Oh, and they let you know now that they've fixed an exploit where people were getting caps too quickly. Because, of course, what you see is they did a lot of balance changes and some exploit fixes. They only seem to want to concentrate on the ones that are helping people get ahead in the game and actually progress in the game. They got to slow people down from progressing, but they don't want to bother really squashing the actual bugs in the game. Yeah. They only want to focus on putting out the patch notes that highlight that we're giving you what you want. More stash space. You wanted that, right? Oh, FOV slider, push to talk. Yeah, it's coming! But they hid everything else. And it wasn't until everyone started calling them out, said, hey, what's with all these other changes? You guys made all these stealth changes. That they're like, oh, well, this is a learning experience for us. That's what they said. They said, this is a learning moment. This is a learning point for them. That was what they used in a community post. And they're going to let us know once again they're going to be more transparent in the future. And so they finally put out the patch notes, which let us know that, yes, they are actually what people have been saying. Yes, they nerfed this, they nerfed that. Yes, what they did, they basically are slowing you down even more in a game that already progresses pretty slowly. And they didn't want to put out the proper patch notes. Apparently, all the other online games that use patch notes properly, those couldn't be served as a lesson because it took the fans and people making YouTube videos and people posting on various social media platforms for them to be like, oh, you guys wanted all the patch notes? Yes, Bethesda. Yes, this is how you run an online game. You guys wanted to get into the games as a service business, and you had no business doing so because you guys have no clue what you're doing. I said this back in June. That based on everything we have been hearing, it sounded like nobody at Bethesda had ever played an online game like this before. It sounds like they have no clue what they're doing, and every mistake they're making continues to hammer that point home. You guys had to learn from the fans and people complaining that you should put up full patch notes when you're going to nerf stuff like resource gathering. This is online gaming 101 when it comes to dealing with the community. This is absurd. You're going to be more transparent. Why does this just sound like every other... This sounds like Bungie. We hear you, and we're going to do better. That's what this sounds like. So Bethesda instead is going to use the transparency term and let us know that they had another learning point. Oh, but it keeps going with Bethesda because they just can't take a hint. They can't figure things out. And what am I talking about now? Well, you may have remembered I talked about last week. The Game Awards came out. And of course, we got a bunch of new trailers. We got some release dates. We had some games launch that night. And I'm actually going to be talking about some of those games in another video. But Bethesda gave us another trailer for Rage 2. And they gave us a release date. And what people found out afterwards, after looking at the trailer a little closely and doing some digging around and confirming it with people, that Rage 2 is not going to be launching on Steam. Yes, that's right. Bethesda's going to keep the only game on the horizon that has anyone talking about it positively, Rage 2. They're going to lock it behind their Bethesda launcher. I don't know. Did enough people not complain that Fallout 76 wasn't on Steam? Did enough people not complain and let you know that, hey, we're not going to buy your games if they're on the Bethesda launcher? And then you guys have this major security issue on your website, and you're still going to lock your games onto the launcher where you think people are going to be more inclined to buy and play games on your launcher now? What? Why would any PC player in their right mind buy any of your games on your launcher? Why? Their personal information isn't safe in your hands. Period. You've proven that. Nobody even had to attempt to hack. I have to imagine if somebody actually tried to be malicious, it'd probably be like pushing over a child's sandcastle at the beach. Sweet firewall, bruh. So they're going to run out Rage 2 on their own launcher, no Steam. And the cut that Steam would have taken, I have to think, if they would just launch on Steam, I think they would make more money in the long run, because I got to think that at least a third of their potential customers are saying, no, I'm not going to buy anything else on the Bethesda launcher. You got to be out of your mind. You guys don't take security seriously, obviously you don't take it seriously. Just like you didn't apparently take the launch of Fallout 76 seriously, or anything else very seriously this year. 2018 has been a complete failure for Bethesda, and it continues. I could have made a video every day last week, because every day something more ridiculous happened. Oh, and the patch that was supposed to be coming this week, well, it's been delayed on consoles because, quote, they're unable to hotfix unintended issues on console in time. So, it's supposed to be coming out on Tuesday for PC, the next patch update, but not on consoles until later on this week because they can't get it out in time. Can't get those hotfixes out because, of course, they're not actually going to fix anything. They're just going to sort of throw some technological spackle over it. But, of course, they're going to tackle those exploits first. Can't have people progressing too quickly. Gotta slow down those progress rates, too. Slow down those resource gathering. Work on all the really important stuff first, Bethesda. You don't want people having fake money to spend in your game. That's critical. Forget about fixing the important stuff. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about Bethesda for today. I didn't even really talk about the game itself. This is just more public relations nonsense coming from them, and just more failings on their part, and just more evidence that they don't understand the market. They don't understand what they're doing with online games. And I don't see this changing anytime soon. And none of this takes into account the fact that Obsidian went out on stage at the Game Awards and threw shade all over Bethesda and Fallout specifically, and then showed the trailer for their new game from the creators of the original Fallout. Yeah. So, you got Obsidian throwing shade. Nothing's going right. Nothing is going right for Bethesda right now. Just a PR disaster, the likes of which we really haven't seen before. This is just a mess on every single front. From the marketing, to the game, to the cybersecurity, from other studios throwing in, to all the media sites, all the 95% of sites and channels are saying the same thing. I know there's still some people holding out hope. At this point, I'm just not sure why. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm Coach Toolshed. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Please subscribe if you want to stay in tune with the channel headed forward. And as always, keep it turned to 11.